There are times in life when a woman must stand alone, not by choice, but because her journey demands a different kind of strength, a strength not found in crowds, but in solitude. Society often encourages us to seek validation through friendships and popularity, making us believe that our worth depends on the approval of others. However, a woman who walks alone understands that her value comes from within and from God, not from the opinions or support of those around her. In Psalms it is written, "God is within her, she will not fall. God will help her at break of day." This verse is a powerful reminder that true strength is found in God's presence. When He dwells within her, she remains unshaken, even when others walk away. Today, we will explore the powerful qualities of a woman who walks alone. Before we continue, take a moment to like this video so we can keep sharing these messages. Let's dive in. There is a unique kind of strength in walking alone, especially for a woman. Independence and self-sufficiency are not qualities that appear overnight. They are forged through experiences, challenges, and moments of solitude. A woman who chooses to stand on her own, without needing the validation of others, is not merely surviving. She is thriving. Her strength does not come from those around her, but from within. In a society that glorifies companionship and togetherness, it can be easy to believe that constantly being surrounded by people defines one's worth. But a woman who walks alone has discovered that real power lies in self-reliance. She does not need a group or a community to define her purpose or guide her path. Instead, she leans on God, knowing that He alone provides the strength she needs. This self-sufficiency does not mean rejecting relationships. It means understanding that relationships do not define her. She knows that friendships and external approval are not necessary to recognize her worth, because her worth is established by God. The verse in Psalms reminds us that God is within her. She will not fall. God will help her at break of day. This is the essence of her strength. She does not rely on what others can give her, but on what God has already placed within her. When challenges arise, she does not immediately seek others for support or answers. Instead, she looks inward, trusting her intuition, resilience, and experience. She has built this strength over time, and it sets her apart. She does not crumble when people leave her or when life becomes difficult. Instead, she taps into a deep well of endurance, understanding that the only one she can truly depend on, aside from God, is herself. This knowledge gives her an unshakable confidence. Her resilience is not just about enduring hardships. It is about thriving despite them. She has learned to navigate life without relying on the approval of others. She makes her own decisions, shapes her own path, and stands firmly in her beliefs, values, and vision. Walking alone requires courage, but it also grants her freedom. It is easy to follow the crowd, to be swept up in what everyone else is doing. But a self-sufficient woman prioritizes what is right for her over what is easy. She possesses the self-awareness and confidence to make choices that align with her true self, even when they lead her down a solitary path. Through this independence, she discovers a strength that is not shaken by the presence or absence of others. Her inner strength is cultivated in solitude, a power that remains steadfast no matter who comes or goes. For a woman like this, solitude is not emptiness, it is empowerment. It allows her to focus on herself, her purpose, and her walk with God. If you walk with God, write in the comments, "God is my foundation," and declare that He is your rock and strength. Think of Ruth, who found herself alone after her husband's death. She chose to leave her homeland and follow Naomi, embracing a path of solitude and uncertainty. Yet, her strength never wavered because it was rooted in loyalty, determination, and trust in God. In the same way, a woman who values her independence understands that walking alone does not make her weak. It makes her strong, self-reliant, and deeply purposeful. When God is within her, she knows she will not fall because her strength comes from Him. In solitude, she finds the space to reflect, grow, and listen to God's voice. In that quiet, She realizes that her worth and strength are gifts that only He can give. In a world that constantly measures people by their social circles, a woman who walks alone has discovered something rare and powerful. She knows her worth. Her value is not determined by the number of friends she has, her popularity, or how many people seek her out. Instead, she has found her worth deep within, and it remains unshaken by the opinions or approval of others. Society often tells us that we need others to validate our importance, but a woman who understands her worth knows that no one can define her value. She recognizes that her true worth is a reflection of her relationship with God and who He says she is. In 1 Peter, we are reminded, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession." This verse serves as her foundation, affirming that she is precious in God's eyes, and no one else's opinion can change that. This deep understanding of self-worth frees her from the pressure to conform or seek approval just to feel accepted. She is not searching for validation from people who do not truly see her. Instead, she defines herself by her faith, values, and unique purpose. This confidence allows her to live authentically, without feeling the need to prove herself to anyone. For a woman who knows her worth, relationships are not about filling a void or proving her value. She values quality over quantity, understanding that true friendships are rare and take time to build. She is patient, waiting for connections that are meaningful, supportive, and uplifting. She would rather walk alone than surround herself with people who do not align with her values. A woman who knows her worth does not fear solitude, because her identity is not based on social approval. She understands that her foundation is rooted in God's love, not in the presence or absence of people around her. This mindset brings her deep inner peace. She does not rush into relationships or cling to others out of insecurity. Instead, she has the wisdom to recognize when a relationship is no longer healthy or supportive, and she is unafraid to walk away. She does not fear letting go because she knows her worth remains intact, regardless of who stays or leaves. Valuing herself means setting healthy boundaries. She refuses to compromise her peace or integrity just to fit in or be accepted. Because she knows her worth, she is selective about who has access to her life. Her self-worth acts as a filter, allowing her to choose relationships that uplift her and bring out the best in her. She does not chase popularity or the illusion of having a large social circle. She seeks depth, truth, and authenticity. A woman who knows her worth also possesses a unique strength to stand firm in her values. She is not easily influenced by the opinions of others or pressured into conforming. Her self-respect gives her the courage to say no when necessary and to stay true to her convictions. She understands that her purpose is not to please people, but to honor God. Her goal is not to blend in, but to live her calling in a way that reflects who she is and the path God has set before her. Consider the story of Queen Esther. She risked her life to stand before the king, not for her own benefit, but for a purpose far greater than herself. She knew that her worth did not come from her title as queen or the approval of those around her. It came from her God-given purpose. That knowledge gave her the strength to act with courage, even when the stakes were high. In the same way, a woman who knows her worth does not settle for anything that does not align with her values and calling. She is willing to walk a lonely path if that is what it takes to live authentically and honor her identity in Christ. Her self-worth becomes her guide, helping her make decisions that reflect who she truly is. This understanding of her worth also means that she takes care of herself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. She prioritizes self-care, knowing that a strong foundation in faith and self-respect allows her to live with confidence and purpose. A woman who knows her worth does not seek validation from others. She finds it in God's presence. She understands that taking care of herself is not an act of vanity, but a way to honor the value God has placed in her. Her well-being is a reflection of gratitude for the life she has been given. Because of this, she has the freedom to live authentically, set boundaries, and walk away from anything that does not align with her true worth. One of her most remarkable qualities is her unwavering trust in God's guidance. Without relying on the constant input of others, she has learned to lean on God for direction. While people may offer good advice, she knows that no guidance compares to God's wisdom and clarity. In her solitude, she discovers that God is her closest companion and her most reliable guide. This trust does not develop overnight. It is built through seasons of dependence on God, where she has had to walk uncertain and lonely paths. In these moments, she listens for His voice and seeks His direction through prayer. Proverbs teaches, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." She does not need constant reassurance from others because her security is rooted in God's faithfulness. While people and circumstances may change, God remains constant. This gives her confidence that His plans for her are good, even when the path is unclear. Solitude becomes a gift rather than a burden. The world is filled with distractions, but in quiet moments, she develops a sensitivity to God's voice. She no longer feels the need to compare her path to others, focusing instead on what God is calling her to do. Her trust in Him is not conditional. She does not seek Him only in times of crisis, but includes Him in every area of her life. Whether facing decisions, challenges, or uncertainties, she turns to God for wisdom, strength, and peace. A woman who understands her worth does not seek approval from others. She finds it in God's presence. Like Mary, who accepted God's plan with trust despite uncertainty, she moves forward in faith, even when the path is unclear. Trusting God's guidance means prioritizing His voice over the opinions of others, knowing that His approval is eternal while human validation is fleeting. She does not conform to expectations, but follows the purpose God has placed in her heart. Like Deborah, who led with wisdom and authority despite societal norms, she stands firm in the calling God has given her. Walking alone requires faith, but she understands that God's plans are greater than what she can see. Even in moments of doubt, she clings to His promises, knowing His timing is perfect and His direction is always for her good. Her strength comes not from controlling every aspect of her life, but from surrendering to God's will. She recognizes that true peace is found in trusting His plan rather than her own. As she learns to let go, her faith deepens, bringing her a sense of purpose beyond mere survival. She no longer fears uncertainty because she knows God is working behind the scenes, aligning everything for her good. She does not follow the crowd but walks confidently in her calling, knowing that God is shaping her path. Her identity is rooted in His love, not societal expectations. Her trust in Him sustains her, empowers her, and gives her true freedom. She finds joy in the journey, embracing each step with confidence, knowing that every challenge is shaping her into who God created her to be. For a woman who walks alone, her journey is not one of isolation, but of resilience, purpose, and peace, anchored in God's presence. She is never truly alone, for He is always by her side, guiding and strengthening her. Let this be a reminder to seek strength in God, know your worth in His love, and trust in His unfailing guidance. As long as He is with us, we will never walk alone.